All right, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Jumping on today for day two, talking about mentality. So, if you haven't noticed, yesterday I started the internal health series. So, I will be talking about that for about 6 weeks or so, between Monday through Friday. So, I will be breaking down the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical part of who we are for the next 6 weeks. So each category will have 5 days that I will talk about it in different ways. So I will try to be more interactive as well. Definitely, provide your feedback and things like that. Yesterday, I talked more about what mentality means and how we see ourselves is how we see others. And I used the example, really talking more about how sometimes we may see ourselves with less. We may see ourselves as not having enough. And so we will judge others for having more than enough when we truly don't know what they're dealing with behind closed doors, if they're having to actually share that with other people or whatever. We don't know their responsibilities, we don't know what's really going on. But a lot of times we will judge them because we feel like we don't have enough. But what I want to talk about here to close up yesterday, which was Monday, so this is for the week of September 8th of 2019. I want to go ahead and close up Monday. So Monday really comes down to this, is that don't focus on you feeling like you don't have enough. Remember, you have enough just for this season. This is something I had to learn. You have enough just for this season. Prepare yourself for the overflow on the next season. And that, what I mean by that is that the overflow of not only just financial part, but who are you once you have all of the financial, all of the money that you want. Think about the overflow as far as peace of mind, happiness, love, being able to have a better character, how you carry yourself, how you see others, how you serve others. And to me, that is a lot better than us focusing on what we don't have. We always have just enough for our season. A lot of times we want more, but we haven't actually used up what we already have. So I want to go ahead and close that up and just let you know this. Prepare for the overflow for the next season. And I want you to think about the people that you will also serve and prepare them for as well, because you will be sharing your overflow. You will have so much that people won't have to guess, they will know because they will be a part of your journey. So I'm excited about that. Now, we are here now talking about Tuesday, about mentality again. So today we will talk about how mentality has really shaped our view and how we carry ourselves as well. Similar to yesterday, but I'm going to be a little bit more personal. And what I mean by that is being personal is that I'm going to share an actual story about my life and how my mentality has been shaped as well. So, just to kind of start off here, I want to say this is that there was many times in my life where my mental was filled with tragedy. It had happiness in there, but it had a lot of pain, a lot of disappointments. Now, I'm not sure if there's anyone that cannot relate to that. Someone has went through some type of tragedy, disappointment, something that's affected you so deep that you carry it with you somewhere in some part of your brain. And see, what I find is that when we don't take care of the things that our memories have held, what happens is that we get stuck under the survival mindset. And the survival mindset will have us in situations making decisions under the old person we used to be and not the new person that we're becoming. And so I want to talk about how tragedy, pain, and disappointments shaped my life, and how I had to take my power back. I had to make a choice, make a major decision to change how I was going to see myself so that way I can see others as better. Now, there are those people as well who can truly see themselves as trash and see amazing things in others. I mean, you can say that's a good thing, but it's a terrible thing still, because if you're looking at yourself as less than, but other people are better than you got to figure out why. But anyway, we'll talk about that more throughout the week as well. So I want to share a story. Now, I have this memory that has stuck with me. I was 6 years old, and I remember a group of people rushing through our home and attacking my mother. And attacking my mother to the point that it sent me and my brothers rushing into a room to be safe. Me and my brothers and my autistic sister. Now, my older brother was trying to help my mother as well. I remember later finding my mother unconscious in a bathtub. And now I'm 6 years old trying to figure out, what's going on? Why is this happening? I'm fearful, I'm scared, but at the same time, I'm just completely confused. And my first response is to try and get my mother out the bathtub, but she was so heavy I wasn't able to. I don't know where my older brother was back then, but I just remember panicking. And shortly after that, I remember us being shipped to a foster home. So I was stuck with the memory of my mother being, I was 6 years old. I remember her being left in a bathtub, and then now we're in the foster home, and we're at the bottom in a basement with some kids that I have no idea who they are. Now, my mother has 6 kids, so it was me and two of my baby brothers, and we were there. One was a baby, and one was a toddler at that time, and then there were some other kids. I can't really remember their age, but I remember being the oldest out of most of them. And I remember us being down there in that basement for days. And they would give us food here and there, but I don't remember it really being a full meal. I remember being able to see out a sliding door and see like a playground, but we weren't able to go out there. So we were really treated like animals just sitting at the bottom of this basement for days. And I want to say I remember us moving from there, but I don't remember all of the details of what happened after. But I want to say how that memory stuck with me. It stuck with me so long because what I found is that I was afraid to be around people. I was afraid to be around crowds of people. I didn't know who to trust. I felt like I was always in danger. So I walked around with this guard up and just always feeling like I had to keep people at a certain distance from me to be able to protect myself because I didn't know what people's intentions were. And what I realized as I got older, when I had my daughter, I was about 21, 22. I realized that, you know what? That situation was an unhealthy environment. It was to a point where my mother entertained people and were friends with people that was not good for her. Now, I'm not necessarily judging her, but it made me think about where her mindset was then. Now, she's went through her own pain as well, and she'll have to share that story if she ever wants to do that. But just to think that when we don't take care of our mental, the things that we entertain and things that we decide to be around can truly damage our path. It can damage our destiny and where we're supposed to be. It can literally take our power, and our whole mental just destroys everything that we can become. And I realized that if my mother back then, if she had the tools to make a different mind decision, meaning change her mindset, focus on what she needed to do, and being a mother to create healthy environments for her kids, we may have not had to experience that. And I forgive her because it wasn't until I had my daughter that I realized that in order to avoid situations like that, it was important for me to make decisions on who I was hanging out with, who I entertained, who I let in my personal space. I was very, very, very serious about energy well before energy became this big old thing now. But I had to really think about that. And so I made a promise to my daughter that I would do my very best at all times to make sure that no matter what home we lived in and where we were, I would give her a healthy environment. And by doing that, it helped me become a better person too because I had to be more aware of where I was. So what I want to say today on mentality is this: if you are experiencing old pains, old disappointments, old tragedies, it's important to address them. It's important to think about how that affects you because what you don't realize is that those are roots that will stick with you for a very long time. And you will be making decisions based off of that mindset and not even realizing it. And as people come into your life in your past, you will be connecting them to those roots as well and damaging their lanes in their past. So I want you to make the decision to take your power back. You are more than your survival mindset. You're more than your pain, your disappointments, the tragedies. It's time to take your power back. And I encourage you to do that today.